What a way to kick off Gen 6 of the Yu-Gi-Oh anime. Hey everybody, Templar74 here with another Yu-Gi-Oh video. Yes, it seems like forever since I did a Yu-Gi-Oh video, but today I'm going to give my thoughts about this week's series opener of the new Yu-Gi-Oh anime, Yu-Gi-Oh VRAINS. And I gotta say guys, this Yu-Gi-Oh series arguably is the most mature Yu-Gi-Oh series we've had since 5Ds, and in fact I would say that VRAINS opening is actually on par with 5Ds as far as plot containment. This series opening was just all plot. The episode starts off pretty much 5 years in the past, and we get the whole story about how the Knights of Henos have attacked the Cyverse already, and to protect it, Ignis cut the connection, and we get all that stuff. Then we see Ignis's escape from there. The episode continues on where we get Playmaker's Link Slayer fighting a member of the Knights, and we don't see a whole duel there, but we do see Playmaker. The episode cuts off from there into the opening, which, by the way, the new Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS opening, I have listened to that opening probably for 20, 30 times now. That opening is so catchy, but again, that's a different discussion for a different day. It's also, they did do a nice Yu-Gi-Oh! Rendition in there. If you notice there, for a brief second, you see the Millennium Eye in the opening, and I thought that was a really nice homage to Yu-Gi-Oh! But anyway, that whole point aside, the opening was pretty good. We go back to Yusaku's flashback, and he's pretty much being woken up by Shima, who's a classmate of his. We get introduced to him briefly. Shima is going to be the new Sawatori of VRAINS. I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb and say that now. When Yusaku stands up, he notices that he's using an older dual disc that actually requires cards, unlike the new dual discs SOL developed that wouldn't, or that don't use cards. I'm sorry guys, I'm trying to read off my notes here as fast as I can. But it also helps them win duels. And then we get the whole kind of story about the virtual reality network space, VRAINS, because he's asking Yusaku about it. Who he doesn't know is Playmaker. Yusaku pretty much explains that VRAINS is a secret place, or a secret place for sacred duelists. We get that whole thing. And apparently Playmaker is very famous in VRAINS, however, no one has footage of him. And that's just because of how mysterious it is. And we get the 3 reasons why he's discredited by Yusaku. He doesn't care what cards he has, hasn't gone to VRAINS, he judges duelists on looks, and those are his big problems with Shima. We then see we're back in Den City for a while. We see the hunt for Ignis and hunting down Playmaker. We get brief introduction to Go and Blue Angel, which is interrupted by the attack, causing Yusaku to have to jump into VRAINS and save Blue Angel. And I can't believe this already. Well, actually I can, because Yu-Gi-Oh fans are somewhat ridiculous. And I'm poking fun at myself about that too as well. We already have a shipping between Playmaker and Blue Angel. I'm like, really? You have one episode and already we got a shipping between these two? It's just, it's crazy. It's crazy, man. What can I say? The transformation of Yusaku. Now, I gotta say, I love that transformation sequence. That transformation sequence for VRAINS is incredible. Really love the animation on that, and it just... This series is so fresh and refreshing, and it's nice to have a more mature Yu-Gi-Oh series again. Don't get me wrong, I loved Arc 5, but my biggest complaint with it was its slow opening. Not the case in VRAINS, and I'm so excited about that. We also get a brief introduction to speed duels by riding the Data Storm. We also learn that Playmaker wants revenge on those who stole his past by setting a trap for the AI, stopping the Knights of Henos. The trap forces Ignis into his dual disc. And again, I'm jumping around here because I'm trying to hit all the major points real quick. But SOL tries to run a scan for Ignis, but they can't because of the lowering of security in the city. And of course, the second they are persuaded to start that security scan, or that scan, Knights of Henos attack Den City. And then we get the brief moment there because Playmaker announces to them, in order to get Ignis, I must be defeated in a duel. And in order to help Playmaker win, Ignis creates a data storm as the duel begins, and that's where it's kicked off. But I do have one other thing I want to say about this. If you guys notice, in the very last sequence before that data storm, we actually hear a remix of Pendulum of the Soul, which is the Pendulum Summon theme from Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5. You have to listen real carefully there, but it is a remix of it, and that's awesome. But anyway, everybody, that was the opening to VRAINS in a nutshell, all the major points. In the comments down below, let me know what you guys think about this. Do you love it? Do you hate it? What are your thoughts on VRAINS so far? What are your thoughts about the more mature storyline? Just what are your guys' thoughts about this series? Because, as always, I'm overwhelmed. Anytime a new Yu-Gi-Oh anime starts, with the exception of Zexal, we don't talk about Zexal on this channel, but usually when a new Yu-Gi-Oh anime starts, I am so hyped for it. This time was not a letdown by any stretch of the imagination. VRAINS is off to a great start. VRAINS has a lot going for it. And it's interesting because I've actually, even though the episode aired yesterday, there's more VRAINS in my timeline than anything revolving around Pokemon, Sword Art Online, anything like that. It's all minimal compared to VRAINS. So this series really is off to a good start. This series opener, I'm giving an 8 out of 10. Or not an 8 out of 10. I think an 8 out of 10 is actually being mean to it now that I think about it. The more I think about it, I think this is probably more like a 9 out of 10, to be perfectly honest with you guys. But I'm just overwhelmed by this series opener. And as always, I want to hear your thoughts about it. So like I said, in the comments down below, let me know what you guys think. And as always, everybody, Templar74 signing off. Have a great day, everybody, and I'll talk to you all next time. Goodbye, everybody.